Hi fashion lovers, you're welcome to another interesting video. In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to draft a princess dart pattern. So if you're a beginner and you have learned how to draft your basic bodies, your skirt pattern, the next tutorial will be for you to learn how to draft a princess dart pattern. And today we are going to be learning how to make this armhole princess dart pattern in a very easy and simple way. It's going to be a well detailed tutorial for you as a beginner. So if it is something you want to learn, you need to keep watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you find this video very interesting. Alright guys, let's get started. To get started, I have my pattern paper here. So we are drafting a dress block, that is, we are drafting a gown. So we are making a gown with an armhole princess dart. So I've gone ahead to mark a starting point line, and from that starting point line I will go ahead and mark my chest line. So to get your chest line, you want to divide your bust by 6 inches and add 1.5 inches to it. Divide your bust by 6 inches and add 1.5 inches to it. So like mine is 7.5. Mine is 7.5. Then I'm going to add extra 1 inch, which is going to serve as shoulder slope. So if yours is 7.5, you add 1.5 inches. So it's going to be 8.5. So from the starting point line, you want to go ahead and mark that 8.5. So that is your chest line. So I've gone ahead to mark my own chest line, which is 8.5, and then I've marked my bust point for the measurement I'm making use of. The bust point is 10 inches, and then I'll go ahead and mark shoulder to the waistline, which I'm making use of 16 inches, and then I'll also mark shoulder to the hip line, which in this case is 24 inches. Then I will get the length of the dress. So I'm going to be using the length of 39 inches for this gown. So I'll go ahead and rule a straight line. So as you can see, I have ruled an horizontal line. Did you see? So this is the chest line, this is the bust point line, this is the waistline, and this is the hip line. So I'm taking my time to explain this so that you will not get confused in case you are a beginner. So from this line now, the starting point line, which is serving as a shoulder line, you want to go ahead and measure half of your shoulder measurement. Mine is 15 inches, so I marked 7.5 on the shoulder line and on the bust point, on the chest line, sorry. So the reason why we mark it on the chest line is for us to be able to get our armhole line. So I marked 3 inches on the neck line for the neckline, and then came down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. So I came down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. So the bust we are working with is 36 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and divide that 36 inches by 4. Because this is a beginner's tutorial, I am not going to be using the bust allocation method where we add more measurement to the front due to the bust at the front. So I'm not using that method. So I went ahead to divide the bust by 4, and I marked it on the chest line, which is 9 inches. And from that chest line, I went up by 3 inches on my armhole line, and then went inward by 0.75 inch to connect my armhole curve. Did you understand? So from the bust chest line, go up by 3 inches, and from that 3 inches, go inward by 0.75 to get your armhole curve. So on the waistline, we are going to mark half of our nipple to nipple measurement to get our dart. So the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 7 inches. Divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5, and I mark 3.5 and then mark a dart of 1.5 inches. That is 0.75 on both sides, 0.75 on both sides. So I'm going to start my dart 3/4 of an inch below the bust point. You don't want your bust your dart to get to your bust point. If you're a plus size, you can stop your dart like 1 inch or 1.25 inch below your bust point. So that is what I did. So my dart intake for the waistline is 1.5 inches, 0.75 on both sides. So you want to bring down your dart line on the hip line and then go up by 2 inches to connect your dart. So I believe you understood to this point. So with this now, I've taken my dart for the front part. So the next thing you want to do is to take your body circumference. And before I do that, because this is going to be like our princess dart, so we're going to cut through the dart line. So I'm going to extend the dart leg to the length of my dress. So you want to go ahead and extend your dart leg to the length of your dress. So this is what I have, and the next thing I want to do is to take my armhole princess dart line. So from the armhole line, I came down by 2.5 inches, and the reason why I came down by 2.5 inches is because I have a smaller bust. So if you have a smaller bust like me, consider coming down by 2 inches, 2.5 inches. It is going to fit you better. So if you have a medium bust size, you can come down by 4 inches to mark your princess dart line. If you're on a plus size, you can come down by 5 inches or 5.5 to mark your armhole princess dart line. So using this measurement is going to fit you more better depending on your bust size. So from that first line that I made, I will come down by 1.5 inches. From the first line, I will come down by 1.5 inches for my dart. And from the bust point line, I will go up by half an inch. I will go up by half an inch. You don't want the dart to get to the bust point. You don't want it to get to the bust point. So the next thing you want to do is with your curve ruler like this, you want to go ahead and connect like this. Did you see? So you want to go ahead and connect. So from that half inch above the bust point, you connect, and then you want to like extend that line outward. So you want to like extend this line outward, and you want to go ahead and replace that 1.5 inches that you have taken as your dart. So from this part now, did you see the point? You want to like extend it out by 1.5 inches. So if you take that of 2 inches, you're going to extend by 2 inches. If you take that of 2.5 inches, you are going to extend by 2.5 inches. So the next thing is to keep your curve like this. Did you see? And then get the new armhole curve. Did you see? You want to get the new armhole curve. So you're going to keep your curve like this, and then you connect it. You can see the new curve I made is not like, I did not connect it to the old the bust measurement, that is to the other armhole curve. Did you see that? So did you see that space here is like is necessary so that your pattern will not shorten? Did you see this space in between is around like half an inch? Yours might be 0.75 depending on the dart intake. So it is necessary to avoid like your bust line from being shortened. I hope you are cleared. So this is what I have. Did you see how the curve went? Did you see how perfect it is? So the next thing is to like blend the curve around that point. Did you see? You want to go ahead and blend in this part with your curve. Blend it very well so everything aligns together. So this is how it is after I was done blending. You can see everything aligns more better. So the next thing is to mark our bodice circumference. So on your waistline, you want to mark 1/4 of your waist measurement. Mark 1/4 of your waist measurement. The waist measurement I'm working with is 26 inches divided by 4 is 6.5. Then you want to go ahead and add a 1.5 inches for your dart intake. So the hip of this person is 40 inches divided by 4. I am not making use of the hip allocation method where we add more space to the back. No, I'm not making use of it because this is a beginner's tutorial and I don't want to get anybody confused. So I'll go ahead, I divided the hip by 4, and then I marked whatever thing I have. So the 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches, and that is what I marked on the hip line. So you want to go ahead and connect from the chest to the waist line and from the waistline to the hip line, like so. Did you see that? So I believe you are enjoying this video. Please kindly give this video a big thumbs up. Please like this video. So whatever thing you have on your hip, you want to remove 1.5 inches to it and mark on the knee. So I like removing 3 inches from whatever thing I have on the hip. So I will remove 1.5 from the front and remove 1.5 from the back. So if you want to remove 4 inches, you remove 2 inches from the front and remove 2 inches from the back. So what I have on the hip line, I remove 1.5 inches to mark on the hem part. So the next thing now is to go over to the back part. Okay, before we go to the back part, let's get our neckline. So you can choose any neckline of your choice, but for this tutorial I'll be making use of our basic neckline, which is 3 inches by 3 inches, the width 3 inches, the depth 3 inches. So this is how our pattern looks like after we are done drafting it. Isn't this beautiful? Did you see it? Everything aligns perfectly well. Trust me, if you sew with this pattern, you will love the outcome. So now we're going to go to the back part. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my vertical lines and mark my zipper allowance, and then I will show you. So all the lines I have on the front, I'm going to repeat it on the back, but I'm not going to be marking the bust point line on the back because we don't have bust point at the back. So you can see I've marked out 1 inch for my zipper allowance. So this is my chest line, the waist line, the hip line, and the length of the dress. The same line I used for the front is what I also used for the back. So the next thing I will do is for my shoulder line, I'm going to get my back waistline. So there is always a difference between your front and the back waistline. So the back waistline is 14 inches, the front waistline is 16 for this pattern. So on that 14 inches, I will go inward by 1 inch. That 1 inch is to eliminate zipper bulge. So from shoulder to my back waistline is 14, and from that 14 inches I went inward by 1 inch and then connected it to the nape or the nape of my dress, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the hip line, but stop like 1 inch or 2 inches to the hip line. This is to eliminate zipper bulge. So to eliminate zipper bulge, measure from shoulder to your back waistline, and from that back waistline go inward by 1 inch, then connect just the way you see me do. So this is me remarking my waist my zipper measurement. So I'm going to show you video on how to get your front waistline and your back waistline. So to get your front and back waistline, you want to just grab an elastic band or a piece of or a rope, tie it on the tiniest part of your waist, just like what you see me doing, and then go ahead and measure from the shoulder to the front waistline. Whatever thing you have, you mark, and also measure from the shoulder to the back waistline. So that is how you get your front and back waistline. So the next thing we are going to do is to work on the down part. So from your hip coming towards to the knee part is not straight because of the curve or the butt at the back. It is not straight, so you're not supposed to keep your pattern from the hip line to the down part straight. So from the hem part, that is your your knee line, you go inward by 1 inch, did you see, and then take it up to the hip line. You are going to stop like 1 inch before the hip line, did you see? So after that, you also remark your zipper allowance. So doing this is going to remove excesses from you. So if you have a very big butt, you are very curvy, you can go inward by 1.5 inches, so to be able to get, remove those excesses. If you don't do this and you make your dress, you will find excesses around that. I don't know, you will find excesses, but once you go inward from your knee line by 1 inch or 1.5 inches for people that have a large butt, and then connect it to the hip line, you are going to have a more fitted look at that back part. So now we are done with this part now, so we'll go over to our normal measurement. So on the chest line, did you see, I'm starting all my measurements before the zipper allowance. So on the chest line, you want to go ahead and mark your half of your shoulder measurement, and on the shoulder line mark half of your shoulder measurement and get your armhole line, just like we did for the front. Did you see that? So on the shoulder line you mark your 3 inches, did you see, and on the armhole line you go down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. For the front we use shoulder slope of 1.5, and for the back we are using the shoulder slope of 1 inch, the shoulder slope of 1 inch. Then you want to go ahead and mark your 1/4 of your bust measurement. Did you see where I started? I started on that normal line, the first line that we made, and then you want to mark 1/4 of your bust circumference, and then you get the midpoint of your armhole, go inward by 0.5 inch, and then connect your armhole. So this is very easy. Did you see? Go ahead and connect your armhole. So the next thing is to did you see where I kept my taper? I'm going to go ahead and mark my half of my nipple to nipple measurement, and then rule a straight line on the hip line and on the chest line. So you want to go ahead and connect with a straight line like this. So I'm going to be taking a dart of 1 inch. So let me just use my marker pen and highlighting it. So I will take that of 1 inch, half inch on both sides. For the front, we use 1.5 inches, 0.75 on both sides. But for the back, we are making use of 1 inch, which is half inch on both sides. So from the chest line, you want to connect your dart like this. And from the hip line, you go up by 2 inches to connect your dart. Did you see that? So the next thing is for me to bring down my dart line, because we're going to be cutting through the dart line. So you want to go ahead and bring down your dart line. So the next thing you want to do is to also come down from the front, from the armhole by 2.5 inches, just like you did for the front. Come down by 2.5 inches, and with your ruler, don't use the very curvy part, use the straighter part, did you see, of your curve, and then go ahead and measure, and then go ahead and connect to the chest line like this. Did you see? Then let me just use my marker pen and highlighting it. So for the back part, we are not taking any dart on the armhole. We are not taking any dart on the armhole. And the reason is that we don't have excesses to take off from that armhole, unlike the front part. So you want to, on the waistline, mark 1/4 of your waist circumference plus 1 inch for your dart. Then you go ahead and connect from the chest line to the waist line. On the hip line, you mark 1/4 of your hip measurement. Your measurement should start or stop before the zipper measurement. So you want to mark 1/4 of your hip measurement, and then from the waistline, you want to go ahead and connect like this. And whatever thing you have on the hip, you are removing 1.5 inches, just like we did for the front, to mark on the hem part or your knee line. to mark on your knee line. So then you want to go ahead and connect like so. So with this, we have come to the end of our pattern. Yep, so this is the side back, this is the center back and my back part. So now, okay, we have not come to the end of the pattern, sorry. We still need to add our neckline and then cut out this pattern. So my neckline, the neckline I'm going to use is 3 inches as the width and 1 inch for the depth. So I'll go ahead and connect. So this is the basic neckline. You can always do any neckline of your choice. So this is what I have after I was done. Did you see that? Isn't this beautiful? Did you see how the pattern came out? It came out so nice. So if you have enjoyed this video so far, it won't be out of place if you give this video a like. Please give this video a like. And if you are here to subscribe, kindly subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out more of beginners tutorial, and trust me, you're going to learn a whole lot. So don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. So let's go into the cutting. So just follow me as I cut. So I'm going to cut out the zipper side, cut through the dart. So I'm going to take my time to cut out this. So you want to also take your time and cut out your pattern as well. So as you can see, I am done cutting, and this is the final result. So beautiful. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. So if you have a tutorial that you want me to teach on this channel, kindly drop it on the comment section. Bye.